finding a good flow and rhythm together as kind of two ball handlers. Are you encouraged by what you've seen as them with them playing together?
Yeah, it's what we imagined. We didn't like when Shake was the primary ball handler because he struggles against pressure a little bit. And so when you bring George in, you can't pressure Shake anymore. And we felt like that would be a good mix for us. Matisse is the guy that's keeping that together, though, in my opinion, because we wasn't sure if he can guard for us. And so far, he's been pretty good on doing that. And that helps us play that small lineup.
Thanks, Doc.
Rich Hoffman next.
Hey, Doc, it's kind of related to what you were talking about there, and it's a little bit open-ended, but how do you feel about how your bench unit is playing right now?
I love it. I mean, I think they're all playing well. Dwight's playing really well, really focused right now. Our guards, we have speed, man. I mean, think about it. That's not even including Tyrese, which we can throw him in at times as well. So when we have shooting and speed and able to defend the way they are doing it right now, George is a hell of a defender. Matisse is a hell of a defender. Dwight's a rim protector. So you have three solid defenders out on the floor. It allows all the other guys to play.
You have said at times this year that, you wouldn't necessarily roll an all bench unit out in the playoffs, in the games that matter.
No.
Are we going to start seeing maybe, as you get closer to the playoffs, like whittling down the rotation, or are you just going
to? I'm going to stay with what we have. That doesn't mean we won't, but this is a group that has proven that they can do that. Now, there may be a mixture more where there's always a starter with that group, but for the most part, I'm not scared putting this group on the floor.
90.
Next two questions will be from Jack McCaffrey and then Kai Carlin, but Jack, go ahead first.
Doc, I'd like to hear what you took out of that homestand. Your team's playing better or as well as it's played all year. Yet the competition, maybe not at its peak. What are we to make of those three lopsided routes that you put together? It did come at a good time.
Jackie, you hit it right. It came at a perfect time for us. We needed it. Off the losses that we had with all the injuries, we were allowed to kind of bring our guys in the right way, if you know what I'm saying. None of them had the stretch minutes. Now they're good to go, which is great. The bench guys got great rhythm. The more they play, the better for us right now. We already know our starting lineup can play. So the more we can play different guys off the bench, the better for us.
Thank you.
Kai Carlin, then Noah Levick.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you, we always talk about Matisse on defense, but what have you really kind of seen from him offensively as kind of like his bigger improvements that continue to come along?
Driving, straight line drive, attacks, cutting and driving. So we talk about every day with him. We show him on film every day, and he's starting to see that great. He had two great back cuts today. If guys are going to try to help off of him, he's got to make them pay, and he's starting to do that. Then you can see his confidence growing. So it's great. It's coming at the right time.
Thanks, Coach.
Go ahead, Noah.
Hey, Doc. Ben was the starter you left in the longest tonight. I just wonder what you make of that stretch at the end of the first quarter where he was with the second unit guys and just Ben's play overall tonight.
Ben's been since he's been back, he's been a tone setter for us. He's been absolutely amazing. Not only just with his defense, but his offensive drives, his offensive vision. I don't know if this is the best he's played all year, but this is close. I mean, he's driving our team right now. And a lot of it doesn't show. I mean, he had a play in the third quarter that he just put so much pressure on their defense and the ball went around the horn. He gets nothing out of that except for that play led to us getting a three-pointer. And that's what he keeps doing.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there with Coach for tonight. Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there. 97 points. That's how many combined points the Sixers have right now on this 3-game win streak with wins back-to-back over the Hawks. And then the Thunder. Amy Fiddle, Mark Jackson with you. Sixers post-game live brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. And Mark, and they're cruising. The Hawks came out and said, listen, you're not going to push us around. And the Sixers said, are you sure? You sure about that? Because we did. Everyone did. I mean, the bench did. They took the lead. What about this game for you?
Amy, I was a little concerned to start the game off because Trae Young seemed to be having his way. The pick-and-roll game was really hitting for him and his team. This Hawks team is going to be good. but just not now. They're not good enough to beat the Sixers. So with that being said, the Sixers turning on, the bench just turned it up, got the momentum going, and the Sixers never looked back.
Yeah, the bench went on that 22-10 run in the second quarter, and then the Sixers starters went on a 27-12 run themselves, and that was pretty much all she wrote. Ben Simmons, very aggressive from the jump.
Ben, the Atlanta Hawks got off to a 21-8 start, so you had to take their punch, and then the team got back in it. How did they do it?
Just matching that physicality. You know, they came out and punched us, so it was something that we need to do. We need to make sure we were composed the whole game, and then defensively, obviously, getting stops and getting into some pace.
Talk to me about Dwight Howard and what he brings to the team on and off the floor.
On and off is the energy. You know, I haven't seen him have a down day yet. You know, even if he is having one, he's not going to show it. And that's a big part of, you know, what he brings to the team. You know, he's always bringing the energy, you know, and we feed off that. And, you know, he's a special player. Obviously, you know, his records show, you know, Hall of Fame for sure. But, you know, he's been a great addition to this team.
And your starting lineup now is 22-4 this year. Where does the good chemistry come from?
I think just the willingness, and, you know, everyone making sacrifices in whatever way they need to win. And, you know, everybody holding each other accountable, I think.
Ben Simmons, thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's cross it over now with one of the gentlemen you just heard there. That would be Mark Zumoff, joined by his broadcast partner, Ala Abdinabi. Again, we knew that the Hawks would come out with a little bit more jump. They had Trae Young back, but the Sixers spoil his return, and they jump all over them. It was the second quarter where they put him down on the mat, and they put him away. What about this game? You know, really, when you think about it, going to the playoffs, this is almost like they're getting into that second gear, that second mode, right?
You would certainly hope so, although the Atlanta Hawks did make it tough early, and you had to think that they were going to do so after getting drubbed by 44 points the other night. You could just tell the Sixers weren't up to the physicality of the game, the speed of the game. But Ala, I think the bench deserves a lot of credit for coming in, helping to turn the game around. And by halftime, the Sixers were up 19.
Yeah, the bench did a number of different things. First of all, they played good defense. Second thing is they moved the ball and bodies offensively and got good shots. And I think that's where the separation was. You add that to the fact that Trae Young is out of the ball game now in that second quarter. The Sixers were able to take off. Those factors playing a big role.
So they won by 31 to the Thunder, 44 the other night, 22 tonight. They seem to be firing on all cylinders, but that bench unit, you guys had Dwight Howard as the player of the game, and rightfully so. That bench unit has come on really, really strong. That's key when we're looking at the postseason as well.
It's certainly going to help, even though you do tighten up your rotation, 8, maybe 9 players in a playoff game. But certainly to get you through this final stretch where the Sixers would dearly like to have that first seed, having a bench, producing as they did tonight, and hopefully in some of the games now to come, clearly has to have an advantage.
Yeah, I think two things that you're going to be focused on. First of all, the defense. The defense has got to carry you and get you to where you want to go. All your hopes and aspirations depend on your D. And then your shot selection. You've got to be able to get good shots. And when the shots aren't falling from long range, be smart enough to be able to put the ball on the floor, give it to Ben Simmons, force the issue, get some stuff going to the basket, and perhaps pick up some fouls on the opponents too. There's a lot of different ways to approach it, but what a good bench does is it gives you depth and it gives you options.
Ala and Zoo, before we let you go, I got to ask you the same question that Zoo asked Ben Simmons. How much fun is it watching Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard, pardon me, out there? Because Dwight Howard, he was rolling back the clock tonight. I mean, 19 season high, dunking, flexing. It was a lot of fun for us.
Actually, you had mentioned Ben Simmons. I'll go back, Ala, to something Ben said. Dwight Howard, and we see it, whether it's his energy and effervescence on the court or when they're announcing the starters and he's, you know, rolling along with Matt Cord, kind of imitating what he's saying. He's a delight, and I think that his energy and maybe some other things he knows playing, as long as he's played in the NBA, have really helped the team this year.
Yeah, when you heard Ben also say he hasn't had a day off or a